Well, hello. This is Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr., and I have something very, very special that I want to bring you into today, tonight, whenever you're watching this. As you know, the Spirit of God has really been dealing with me for a long time relative to the financial well-being of his people, the wealth consciousness of our congregation, not only the congregation inside of the four walls, but the global congregation. Because I believe with all of my heart, and it's been really confirmed over the last 12 months, that there has to be a marriage between the supernatural and the practical to have an authentic prophetic movement. Wherever there's a prophetic movement, there is a marriage between the practical and the supernatural. So when we start talking about things like building wealth, when we start talking about financial freedom, we're talking about more than miracles. We're talking about principles. We're talking about strategies. This is what Joseph did for Pharaoh. Pharaoh had a dream, and Joseph prophetically came in and gave a prophetic interpretation. But out of that prophetic interpretation, Joseph also had a practical strategy that God gave him to preserve Egypt and also to catapult Egypt even to a greater status in the world. So tonight, I have one of my sons, and though he is a son and that relationship is very personal to me, he is a genius in his own right. And I embrace him tonight from that perspective. God has given him a vision. God has given him a practical answer to my heart's cry relative to how do we transition our people out of a world's system that keeps our people broke and at the bottom, and how do we transition them into a kingdom position of dominion? That's what we're going to talk about tonight, and I want you to stay glued, because I believe for a lot of you, this is going to be the divine answer that you've been praying for. This is the thing. This may very well be the thing that you need to do to see your life move from struggle to dominion. I want to bring up now my own son, Mr. George Howard, the architect of the Be Free University. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. And hopefully you will really pay attention and invite someone to come into this discussion, because this is very important. George, how are you doing?
Man, I am absolutely phenomenal, Dad. How are you doing?
Well, you know, I'm on top and going higher. The bottom is too crowded, and so I'm on top and going higher. But you have, let's just kind of jump right in. You have been involved in the trenches of launching a massive vision. You and the team, my daughter Rashida, you all have been working on something that is just phenomenal, that I know is going to change an entire generation. You know, I discovered you on Periscope. You were clearly a brilliant man that knew a lot of things that intrigued me, very skilled. But now God has really brought you to another level where you are really getting ready now. I sent you a text the other day. You're getting ready to make history, because you're getting ready now to shift an entire generation. You know, you have this little tagline, the financial Moses. And, but now I really catch the prophetic value of that. So tell me a little bit, George. What is Be Free? People hear a lot about Be Free University, which is the university that you have, become the architect of. What is Be Free? Tell us a little bit about it. Of course, I know, but there's so many that are watching that need to understand.
Well, first of all, Dad, thank you for the interview and thank you for believing in me and the calling of my life and actually embracing it. I really find it humbling and an honor at the same time. Um, and so I just want to let you know publicly, that I told you privately, that how appreciative I am of you and your support, not only for the school, but also for the vision of my life. So thank you. Um, Be Free University is literally, it's a university. It's made to set people free. Um, I personally believe that you cannot be spiritually free as long as you're in financial bondage. Under at the time, my pastor Amos Howard, that was, a phrase that he came up with, and I just think it's true. That you have so many people who are saved, they're sanctified, they're full of the Holy Ghost, they have the evidence of speaking in tongues, they've been baptized in Jesus' name, and all the other stuff and all the other credentials that we come up with. But the struggle financially is still there. The struggle that we've shouted about the blessing of God, but we're still waiting to possess the blessings of God. And we're just in financial bondage. And I believe that God, well, I know that the calling of my life is to set the people free financially. So out of that, we developed, Be Free University, because we want to deal with the practicality of financial education. Not just the practicality, Dad. It's also, the step-by-step guide of people who are already free, um, teaching exactly how they got free and the particular discipline that actually set them free.
So now let me ask you, George. So are you saying to me that Be Free University, it sounds like you're saying the mission is really to take all of its students and to bring them from wherever they are into a place of present financial freedom.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
what you're saying to me?
Definitely. I call it the land of not enough. Many people living in that land of not enough. That's when you don't have enough to make ends meet. Like, you're not even living check to check. You're borrowing, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You got to figure out, if I'm gonna pay the light bill this month, and the next month we're gonna pay the gas bill, and then after, this month we're gonna pay the gas bill. Next month we'll catch up on the light bill. But next month I got to disconnect from the gas bill. You're going to the payday loan stores. It's just so many things.
Yeah.
It's the land of not enough. But then there's the land of just enough. And that's where 90%, well, 87% of America is stuck at. And that's living check to check. And I think it's a sad indictment on society. And I said 87 to 78%, excuse me. It's a sad indictment on society that we live in the richest nation on earth. There's not another nation that has a higher GDP or economic growth than America does, but 78% of its citizens are living check to check. And I believe that that's not the place that God wants you to be. I believe that God has a place called Canaan for us, and that's where he takes across the Jordan River and he says, hey, I have a land that's filled with milk and honey, that's prosperous for you. And we're his children, so how much more will he not want that for us when other
Mhm.
people actually have that? And so, my job is to transition us from that land of not enough to the land of just enough, over into that land of what we call the land of more than enough.
So now, where is Be Free? What city? What state? Where is it located? What's the address? Where does a person go to attend Be Free University?
Well, our mission is to reach 1 million people, not reach, but deliver, set free 1 million people financially. And we cannot do that in one particular state. We have to
That's
be
right.
international. And so the vision came over, said we're going to set up, we're going to utilize the instrument that so many other people have used, and that's the internet. And so our classrooms are on the internet. Not only our classrooms, we have courses, we have classrooms, we have live teaching. Um, we have, we call them chat rooms, I guess you can call them, or group rooms where people can actually form different groups
Mhm.
and just go in there and talk about and discuss different things as well. And so we wanted to give a full university experience. And so the reason we have like a social media perspective is because when you go to college, you meet friends. When you go to college, you
That's right.
discuss different things. And so we don't want it to just be a place where you come and get the education, but we also want to be a place where you can come and discuss the different topics that you're learning and be able to find other people who are going through the same thing, looking at the same deals, looking at the same charts if you're trading, looking at the same real estate deals, looking at the same auctions, you're looking at the same digital marketing pieces, and they can actually help you and assist you along the journey with that. And we have a statement at Be Free University that we call it "Earn While You Learn," and I think is impeccable that people can literally be in an institution where you haven't mastered a skill yet. I don't know yet about real estate. I don't know yet how to trade. I don't know yet how to do digital marketing or taxes or whatever it is that you're studying, but yet you can earn money even though you haven't mastered the skill.
That's
And
good.
for us, we think it's impeccable. So, for example, that we have an auction that's coming up in this county, April 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I'm now currently literally walking a group through that auction. This is what you do. Step
Now
one.
explain, let me pause, let me break in right here. Explain what you mean by auction so that they can understand that this is a skill, one of the skills that they may be able to learn at Be Free. Some people are trying to figure out what do you mean by auction. Tell them what
Okay.
you're talking about.
Thank you, Dad, for that too. Sometimes I think we haven't just me and you having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the ways that I actually, obtained a lot of the wealth that I have is actually through property that I purchased, and I bought property at a tax lien sale. It's an auction that we have here in my particular county. I've been successful in buying over 100 properties, absolutely debt free. My students have bought over 400 properties, absolutely debt free, and I'm just encouraged that, this is the way that we can buy property, and the way we do it is through tax lien sales. And there's an auction as part of the process of getting that property. And so we're taking students from Be Free University, and we're literally walking them step by step through that process. This is what you do. Step number one, step number two. And then they have courses that they can actually take so that when we get in class that we can actually, be able to stay on track, because class is like a workshop, and and they get homework, right? And at the end of each course, they get a certificate. At the end of each, in each module, there's a quiz at the end of each module, so you can actually measure your success, so that you can discover whether or not are you really absorbing or understanding the content. Because one of the things we figured out is that a lot of people that they'll take a course, and you think you got it because you took the course. Almost like when we were in math class. I don't know anybody else, but I was in math class that I had it. It was mine. I had it. And I got home to do the homework, and I was lost.
Couldn't figure it out.
Was it just me?
No, it wasn't just you. I did remedial math 3 times.
So yeah, for me, it was one of those times where we just looked at it and said, okay, let's actually give quizzes so that people can actually be able, because what we're doing with everything that we're doing with have consequences. And so if you know what you're doing, it's on the positive side, but if you don't, it can be negative. And so before you put real money into the stock market, or before you put, go into a real legal process for buying real estate, or before you build a real funnel doing digital marketing, before you start preparing people taxes, can you literally measure the success and the knowledge that you have inside of that particular discipline that, that you're learning?
Okay, George, you said something just a few minutes ago that I find intriguing. Then I have another question I want to ask you, just for the clarity of those that are checking us out. Okay. You said that the instructors at Be Free University are all free, specifically financially free. They are all thriving in their particular discipline, not in a theoretical sense, but in a very real sense. They are winning in these various areas of discipline that they're instructing in. I remember going to seminary and having an instructor teach me about preaching, who admittedly had less than 10 people in his church.
Oh, Lord.
And in the process, he was criticizing my teaching, and my preaching in my church was exploding. So I'm like, okay, why should I listen to this guy? He clearly doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to teach me something he's not actually accomplished. So you're telling me that this is not going to happen at Be Free. The people that are teaching you, well, okay, let's go through that. What are the actual courses of study at Be Free University right now?
Well, when I looked at it, Dad, I began to look at what's the failure that we have right now in society when it comes to wealth. And I'm going to answer your question, but let's play a game. You want to play a game?
Sure thing.
Okay.
Sure thing.
All right. So I ask this question all the time, and I've never asked you this question. So I'm really thrilled about your answer, right? It's going to be 2 questions.
Nervous. I'm nervous.
No, it's not. I promise you'll pass, right? So Give me the number of people that you can name that work a 9-to-5 job that are free. That number can be 0. That number can be 100. People that you know personally that have a 9-to-5 job, and you've met thousands of people, you pastored thousands of people, have a 9-to-5 job and they're free. They can do what they want, when they want, for as long as they want, with who they want.
Mhm. I really can't name one. Not with your definition of freedom. And see, I'm understanding your definition of freedom now. For the first time really in my life, I'm actually free. I can actually go wherever I want, when I want, as long as I want. I can go on the other side of the world and make money on the other side of the world.
Because you're free, right?
Because I'm free and getting freer. Praise the Lord.
But look, it said you're getting freer.
I'm free and getting freer. So no, there. I don't know anyone that works a 9-to-5 that's actually free like you're talking about.
So when we
I know
say
some
that,
people that work a 9-to-5 and they do well, they do all right for themselves. But I don't know anybody that's actually free, can do what they want, can obey God. If God says give, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, I don't know anybody that's working a 9-to-5 that can actually do that.
all right. So now here's the second question. All right. So just 2-part question. All right. I want you to think of them. Don't tell me the names, but think of 3 millionaires or billionaires that you know. You're going to have to know them. You could have read about them, seen them on the internet, seen them on TV, admired them from a distance. Just get three in your head. You got them?
I got them.
All right. I'm going to tell you 5 things about them now. I don't know who they are. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 1, they don't have a job.
They work hard, but they don't have a job.
Number 2,
they do not have a job.
That's correct. Number 2, they own a business or a brand.
They own a few of them.
Number 3, they have some mechanism where they have passive income.
They have a lot of passive income. They can sit home, they can live from anywhere in the world and money still come in.
Number 4, they have some kind of way where they get dividends through ownership.
Absolutely.
Number 5, they pay very little taxes.
Knowing them, I'm sure they probably do.
So here's the reason I wanted to play the game, Dad, is because if we compare and contrast the two, that we were taught, and my mom, I got whoopings for this. Go to school, get good grades so that you can get into a good college, and that good college is going to let you get a good job. My mama's end game for me was good success, and the only way to get there was that good job, and you need education to get there. Now I'm a proponent of education. I'm a proponent of higher learning. I have 2 degrees. My dad has a PhD. My mom should be earning hers this year. My dad owns a college that you can get a PhD in. My brother has a doctorate. My sister has a master's. So I'm a proponent of higher education. However, at the end of the day, if we've looked at people who followed the rules, followed the system, went to school, got good grades so they can get a good job, we can't name a single person that's free. But when we look at the people who are free, none of them have a job.
Can I interject
Definitely.
here?
Please.
The ones that I know, the millionaires that I know who are free, like you're talking about, they are highly educated. Mm-hmm. But they did not get free until they took their skills out of the marketplace in terms of working for someone and did their own thing. As long as they were working for somebody else, they had a cap on them.
Yes, sir.
When they took those skills and they took that knowledge, in fact, one of them is not, I don't think he's college educated, but he has college educated people working for him on his payroll. The other 2 are college educated. One is extremely educated, but did not hit his stride in terms of success and being free the way he is now, till he did exactly what you said. he took that out of the system and he did his own thing.
So if I had to, bring this biblical, there's no different than what happened with Jacob. Jacob, we know Leah and Rachel worked 14 years for Leah and Rachel. We understand that, but he continued to work for Laban. And the text says that one day he went to Laban and had a conversation with him. And he said, I've worked for you for all these years, but I yet have nothing to show for it. That's the text. And I believe we have so many people right now that's watching us that feels the exact same way, Dad. They have worked all their life for so many years. And when they look at their bank account, when they look at their retirement portfolio, when they look at their retirement accounts, so they look at their portfolio, when they look at their stocks, they have nothing to show for it. And so as a regular employer would do, Daddy, Laban says, hey, yeah, man, you know what, Jacob, you deserve a raise. You name your wages, I'm going to give you a raise. And Jacob said, Now, this is the key part, Dad. He says, my daddy was an entrepreneur. My granddaddy owned his own company. I don't want to raise. I want to start my own company. Same chapter, the Bible, same chapter, Daddy. The Bible says that Jacob became wealthy. Why? Because he went from being the employee to the employer.
Yes, sir.
Shift of a mindset. And so I took the long way around that question because when I looked at it, if rich people have these 5 things in common, they don't have a job, they own a business or a brand, they have passive income, they have dividends and very little taxes, then I said, I want to put together a school that's going to teach those 5 principles. And so I said, well, I don't want to be the person at the center of the educational system. I said, I want to go find people who are free in individual disciplines. And I want them to come and teach how they became free in that particular discipline. So for example, I became free through real estate, through tax liens. But so I qualify. I bought over 100 properties. My student bought over 400 properties. I could qualify. And so I use that same metric to say, when we interviewed our people, are you free and have you set other people free? And that's what we use to qualify them to teach at Be Free University.
So what are the things that you're teaching at Be Free now?
Oh gosh, we have so many different verticals or different schools. So for example, we've talked about real estate, but we've talked about tax liens, but there's so many other ways to get into real estate other than just tax liens. You got people that do wholesaling right now that's on fire right now. You have people that, now want to do multi-units or commercial property. You have people that say, hey, listen, I want to specialize in mobile homes or Airbnb, or I want to do storage units, or I just want to do fix and flips. There's so many different ways. And so we're going out and we're still hunting. So if you're watching me and you say, hey, I think I qualify, please call us.
You're doing a deep dive into real estate.
And that's just one vertical.
What's another?
Another one will be trading.
Trading
Now, is another one, Dad. That's it's hot. I mean,
what does that mean, trading, for those that may not be familiar with the language?
It's so we've been taught to buy stock, right? And I'm a proponent of buying stock. I own stock. However, there's another way that you can actually earn money, and that's trading stock. And that's day trading. You have futures, you have options or binary options, but you also have another one called Forex. And so we went and found people in each one of those disciplines and still looking for them in each one of those disciplines that they've had success in it. They're already free and they've taught others how to be free. And we actually vetted them. We made sure that the things that they told us in their interview and they put on paper was actually could be verified. And then we actually hired them, and they provided courses for us. They come live every single day. That they're sending signals to your cell phone. Now, remember we talked about earn while you learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, sir.
So people don't know how to trade yet. You don't know what you're doing yet, but you got somebody who are already free, and they say, hey, listen, until you master the skill set, I'm going to feed you until you can feed yourself. So feeding them signals. Here's the signal. Here's the trade I'm about to take. Here's the trade. And you get it to your cell phone. You haven't mastered the skill yet, but you can put them numbers in the phone and take that trade. Now we have a 90% accuracy rating with that right now. 90% accurate, which means you took 10 trades. 9 of them are going to be profitable.
Now, listening in on a certain conversation that you were having, I think, with one of the instructors, that might be dealing with the trading side, I think at a certain point you said they're going to let you into their back end to see what they're doing.
Well, it's not a certain point. They're doing it now. There's
Wow, you
four
learn.
things. That is four things. It's incredible. There's four things that they're doing right now, our traders. Number one, they give you a course, right? And each one of our courses that are 15 hours. So it's not just like a little bit of content where they put something together for you. It's 15 hours, and they've broken it down into beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So now you can take that at your own leisure. The second thing that they're going to do is that they're going to come live, and they're going to trade their trades live and tell you why they're taking that trade. They bring up on the screen the charts. They bring up on the screen, this is what I see. This is why I'm taking this trade. And you can ask questions. Then the third thing they're going to do is they're going to send you signals to your phone so that you can take trades in case you're not watching the live, or it's late at night and he's not live then, and you can take those trades. And then the fourth thing they're going to do is come in and teach live and let you ask questions so that you can ask questions about, hey, I didn't see this trade. I didn't see this signal, or I got into this trade and I didn't know what I was doing. I lost money. Can you tell me what I did wrong? There are so many different things and so many different advantages to that. And, you know, and that's just the trading cycle, right? And there's so many different verticals that we have. I get excited when I talk about it.
Wow. So we got real estate, we got trading, internet marketing,
digital marketing.
It's
internet marketing. It's the same thing. Digital marketing is funny because you hear people talk about it and you just kind of laugh, right? You'd be like, hey, I think Google following me. I think somebody like they got my phone tapped, right? Right? Because what happens is that we'll go on a site and we'll look at a pair of shoes, we'll look at a dress, we'll look at anything. It can be Amazon, it can be anybody, right? You can come to my site. And then once you go there, they'll do what's called pixel you. Don't worry, it's a technical term. But they're gonna put a tracker on your phone, on your internet, right? And so now they know that you looked at this red dress, they know which one you looked at. And so now when you go to another website, you can be on Instagram, you can be on Facebook, you can be on just a regular site, you know, www.mindmybusiness.com. And you look up and that red dress is on there and you be like, man, they follow me around the internet. Right? It's happened to you?
Yes, sir. Many times.
Well, there's an understanding that most people have to see something 7 times before they actually buy. And so they're following around the internet because they know about that 7th to 8th time after you see it, you're gonna pull the trigger on it. But there's other things that they have different things they offer you, like, get this 7 tips to success, and we'll give it to you absolutely free. Well, now you're on the email list. Now they're sending you webinars, and then you go to the webinar, you get a chat box. Now you're chatting with them, and the chat box is automated, it's telling you what you need. You know, there's so many different things. You got people with YouTube channels, there's blogs, there's A/B split testing, there's, you know, advertising. I mean, there's landing pages, website development, all of these different things that you want to know how to make money on autopilot. Literally, for example, Queenology. For the first time, you know, we put it on autopilot for you. You said, George, you took the work out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And so
yes,
we put it on autopilot for you. And, you know, and you were able to have some success with that. And
in a pandemic.
During the pandemic, right?
During a pandemic. The most successful one I've had was during the pandemic.
And so for that is what, you know, we've been doing behind the scenes. So now we're teaching that, because ultimately, Dad, we're only teaching passive income and dividends. And if you do those two things, it'll lower your taxes. And so that's what we want to teach. We only want to teach passive income and dividends. But get this, in order, and many times, to get the passive income and dividends, you got to have what we call your core correct. Your core has to be right. If your core is not right, if your foundation is not right, nothing else works for you. So inside of that core, there are 3 components that we do. Number 1 is that we want to make sure that your credit is together, right? Number 2, we want to make sure that your cash flow is together. And number 3, we want to make sure your debt is together. Now, Dad, get this. I walked into a classroom the other day. I was actually testing it because we're going to a different model. And I walked to a classroom today, and literally the educator there was like, ooh, I found this here, you guys, but y'all, we just got done going in. They was in the class shouting.
Wow.
And this is why. We have something called the first 48. Now, we call it the first 48 because I'm I'm a fan of the first 48. I like to see them snitch. Like, they go in there so hard, and then at the end, by the end of the movie, they done told everything, right? But this is what they say when it comes on. It says, at the moment we get called, the clock starts ticking. And then, it's the investigator's job to get a lead within the first 48, right? So we said, okay, within the first 48 hours of being a part of Be Free University, there's 3 things that should happen in 48 hours. That the reason they were shouting is because they had just found $600 of cash flow a month that this woman had been losing every single month.
Wow.
We say within the first, now the average is about 300 to 500. The average student that has a W-2 job,
300 to 500.
3 to 5.
Wow.
$300 to $500 that literally, and it's instant. And this woman went through the process, and she says, and I just found $600. And they start shouting in the class, literally. And so we call that the cash flow component. But that the average student is debt free in 3 years. Now you get a debt free plan. Now all of this is automated, right? We're using technology. So you plug your numbers into our system. The algorithm is going to calculate, and it's going to spit out this plan and say, you pay this, you pay this, you pay this. And it spits out a real payment plan. So it says, on December 1st, you're going to pay this much to this company. On January 1st, you're going to pay this much to these individual companies, and it tells you how much to pay. And at the end of this time frame, however long that is, average of 3 years, you'll be debt free. Now I'm talking about your mortgage. I'm talking about student loans. I'm talking about car payments. I'm talking about mom and them. I'm talking about all the people you owe, your credit card debt, all of that. And that you get this plan within the first 48 hours. But we're not done, because we talked about your credit. We talk about your debt. We talk about your cash flow. We talk about your debt, but your credit. We have something called the Credit Rocket that is absolutely unbelievable. I can literally pick up my phone, go to the Credit Rocket, and I can say, I have a foreclosure or a bankruptcy, I have a medical bill or a charge off. That is going to go grab that law. It's going to bring it in. It's going to grab your information, bring it in. It's going to form a letter. You sign your name and hit the send button, and it's going to send that letter certified mail to the correct entity that it's supposed to go to. Certified mail. You never have to go to the post office, and it happens within 3 minutes.
So you're putting credit repair in the hands of the student, him or herself?
Not just that, but we have credit educators to go live every single day. Matter of fact, our credit educators go live 4 times a day, every single day, 4 times a day. That our live education starts at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we don't stop till 12 o'clock midnight.
My God, my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We think we put together something that is, Rashida tagged it this way, or Dr. Jackson tagged it this way. She said, we are a disruptive educational platform. And that's exactly what we came to do. We came to disrupt the way people think about school. Because I don't care if you have a felony, that this is the honest goodness truth. It messed me up when I seen this. I almost brought tears to my eyes. There was a young man, he shared his video, and you could hear chatter in the background. And the only thing you see is the screen. And he's trading. And then he says, y'all, this is how much money I made. Can't tell the income claims. And then he says, I've been trading now, for a little while, thanks to one of my educators. And then he says, all the noise you hear in the background is because I'm incarcerated. I said, what?
My God.
He was in jail.
Trading,
making money in jail.
So now look, this brings me to another thing that, as I have had the opportunity to listen to your vision for, a long time, and to kind of getting it in pieces and bits and not watching it actually manifest. The thing that is exciting for me is that this vision that God has given you, we've been trying to find answers for men and women that come out of prison and the system won't let them in. You're saying to them, we're going to put you in a place where you're going to rise above the system, and you don't have to stoop and bow to a system that's not designed to accommodate you. Your vision says to a person, that's my age, or maybe in their 60s or even 70s, and maybe life happened and you lost all of those earlier decades financially. You're saying to people now, you can make up the time. God can redeem the time.
Yes, sir.
We can give you a skill that even in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s, you can utilize. Like, for instance, one of my retirement strategies, well, there are two skills that I'm going to utilize, learn through Be Free. But one of them clearly is the real estate piece. I have a vision, and I'm not necessarily in the mindset of flipping, but my vision is to acquire X amount of units that, will produce that passive income every month for my wife and I, and then be an inheritance for my children. I plan on learning how to trade so I can sit on my phone when I'm on airplanes, and I can make money while I'm, traveling to my next destination. Now that's, I'm 56 years old, be 57 this year, but I can clearly see multiple seven-figure streams developed from this point in my life, having nothing to do with all of the stuff that I've accomplished already. So this is exciting to me because I know that so many times people my age who've not had the benefit of having a long career or whatever to stand upon, trying to figure out what to do with life. Divorce happened, gave your whole life to somebody, now they're gone, and you're back at square zero. So I'm here to say that, here in Be Free, we find answers to those questions.
Definitely. So, one of the things that we said that, and when we put this together, we kind of had like a brain session, an active brainstorming session. And we wanted to be 100%. We looked at our competitors, which are colleges. And we said, let's keep the stuff we like and throw out the stuff we don't. So, we looked at, why did we learn world history or philosophy or psychology or the A squared plus B squared equals C squared, or E equals MC squared? We never used it. So we said, over here, we only want to teach things that's going to be beneficial. So we took out all the fluff, and we said, we're going to teach you exactly what you need to know in order to make passive income and dividends, and the things and the tools you're going to need. Because once you get your credit together, Dad, you can get well, not you, but they can do real estate. Once you get you out of debt, now you can open that business. Oh, by the way, we teach business entrepreneurship. Now you can open that business. But how do you open a business when you have no credit? You can't get a lease. You can't buy a building. Right. You can't do inventory. You can't hit payroll. I mean, people, God has given visions and gifts and dreams to so many other people, and to all these different people. And that they know they got it because it's the unction in their spirit. They know it's there. The problem is that, number one, they got a 9-to-5 job. They can't live it out. Number two, they got bad credit. So if they wanted to try to do it while they, got the job and try to do it. So we're saying, listen, we're going to teach you the skill set on how to run a business, and we're going to get your credit together, and we're going to walk you step by step through that process. So, we looked at it and said, hey, you don't got to go into student loan debt to actually get educated and actually be prosperous. It don't have to take you 4 years. Within 3 to 6 months, you can be on your way running. You can earn while you learn while you're doing it. You can, literally, when you can begin to compare us to a regular institution or a traditional institution, it's unbalanced, because we know that a university can't compete with us. We know it. A university can never lower their cost to what we have for tuition because they have too much overhead. But because we're digital, because using the internet, we don't have the mass buildings and the mass arenas and the mass and all the overhead that we would have. So we can drop that cost substantially and still pay our educators and still make profit.
So what is the cost? What does it cost for a person to go to to become a student at Be Free University?
Well, Dad, I'm glad you asked that question. Right now, we're in the middle of a soft launch. So a soft launch is what we call our beta. That beta was where our educators got used to going live and teaching on our platform, our developers to, get the bugs out of the technology. And so we said, okay, well, listen, doing this soft launch, and also that's where you ramp up, your tuition, ramp up your enrollment. And so we said, into March 26th, Dad, they can get in literally for $50. Now, after March 26th, there'll be a subscription of $199 a month. But the value that you're
Yes, sir.
getting for $109 a month, that's $2,400 a year.
Yes,
You
sir.
can't go to a college anywhere in the country for $2,000.
Nowhere.
You get access to, and your access is to people who are already free and are going to teach you step by step how to do it.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
I mean, literally, I want you to really emphasize that. Literally walk you through it step by step. Like you're talking about, you're going to take your students and walk them step by step through the process of acquiring properties.
Yes, sir.
And from what I'm understanding, all of your instructors have that same mindset to literally take them by the hand at their pace and walk them step by step by step. So when you start talking about $2,400 a year, I mean, start thinking about the people that are walking around with Louis Vuitton bags that cost $1,800, $2,100. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And for this kind of education that actually accomplishes what mainstream education never really promises, but the idea behind it is, well, I'm gonna get this great education and I'm gonna make all of this money, but then you come out of it and you graduate, now you have this massive Sally Mae mail coming through the mailbox, and you're trying to figure out how you're gonna do all it. You're talking about literally taking people, educating them, getting the real outcomes that other people are hoping for. You're promising.
Yes, sir. We're not promising. We're actually delivering it. It's been a delivery.
Oh, that's good.
And we understand that this platform is going to be disruptive. We know it. When you put Be Free University to a Michigan University or Notre Dame or Princeton or Harvard or even our HBCUs of Grambling or Alabama A&M or Florida, Florida A&M or Tennessee State or whoever it is, right? You can put us and say, number one is, are they gonna give you a financial game plan? No. Are they gonna help you with your credit? Mm-mm. Are they gonna charge you large amounts of tuition? Yeah. Are we gonna do that? No. Are they going to help you earn while you learn? No. That you got to graduate and hope you get a job when you graduate. You got to get your resume together. You got to fill all this stuff out. Here, you're making money while you're in the university. Before you graduate, you're already making money. By the time you graduate, you're a pro. Matter of fact, by the time you graduate, you make another kind of money, come back and teach. Right? And so when you compare us to a regular university, at a traditional university, you can switch your major once a year. With us, you say, hey, you know what, George, I like that real estate piece. It was good. Okay, come do the real estate piece. But next month, you be like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. Guess what? You can change that major over to trading. And now you got options. You got binary options, futures. You got Forex. You can try all those. Like, it's not sitting in me. I think I'm going to try the entrepreneurship, because we all know that we have gone to college and wanted to switch our major. And guys, there have been so many people that I know that they didn't find out until it was too late that the major that they're taking, they didn't really like, but they didn't want to go back and start over.
They don't usually figure it out until after they got the degree, and they don't even really want to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When the real outcome was always to put yourself in a place of freedom, that you can literally live anywhere in the United States of America or the world. You're really in a position now where you can actually set the next generation up for financial success. And you can actually go into your older years without having the worry of being able to maintain your lifestyle. And the beauty behind your vision for Be Free is that now you take the limits off of a person. A person can make as much money as they want to make, based on their own drive and their own ethic. So I applaud you, George. Now, let's begin to wind this up. But there is a way. There is a way for a person to offset even the cost of the tuition at Be Free. What is that?
Yes, sir. We understand that 78%. I gave a statistic earlier that 78% of Americans living check to check. And so they got Pell Grants or they get scholarships based on athletics or academics. And so we said, well, how do a person get a full ride scholarship here at Be Free University? And so we looked at it and says, well, let's do it based on how well they talk or how much they talk. So we said this: if you referred 3 people to, and they actually joined Be Free University, 3 people that you referred here will get you a full ride scholarship where you'll never have to pay another dime again as long as they're paying. And that's, can you imagine? Matter of fact, Dad, you said, you just put a kid through college. How much was
I put one through debt free, paid the whole ride at DePaul University, got another one that's halfway through. It's the money that I've given away.
Well, check this out. What if the university would have said, you know what, Bishop? If you or your kid tell 3 people about this university and they join, we're going to give your child a full ride scholarship.
It'd have been an introduction in my Sunday sermons.
Right? So that's what we said. It's like, listen, and guys, so some people are like, well, I don't want to recruit. We don't want anybody to have to recruit. What we're saying is, if we do what we say we're telling you going to do, I promise you're going to tell somebody. If we really help you get your credit together in 3 minutes in the first 48 hours, if we really help you find money and find $300 to $500 in the first 48 hours, we really help you learn how to trade from your phone or learn how to do real estate or open that business or do taxes or do digital marketing. If we really help you with that and you're starting to see the changes in your life, number one, you ain't gonna have to tell nobody about it. You're gonna have a different walk, a different step, a different stride. And girl, what is wrong with you? Dude, what's going on with you? And you just share what's going on with you. But it's gonna be bigger than that. The moment you get that credit, that thing back to say you got all this stuff to leave from your credit report, you're gonna be like, oh my God, let me tell you what just happened to me. I'm holding this mail in my hand, and they're gonna be like, what? How do I sign up? What do I do? I just found $600 the other day. I didn't even know it was there. What? What are you talking about? How do you find $600 a month?
Yes, sir.
Right? If you share that with people, I promise you, they'll automatically want to come do what you're doing. And if that's the case, I promise you, it allows us to grow, but it also takes the burden of the tuition off of your back.
Well, I think it's amazing. I think that you're amazing. I believe in you, your vision. It's clear. In as much as Be Free is a university and a school, it is equally a kingdom agenda. It is really the answer to the balance that we've been needing in the kingdom of God, to be able to see the promises of God actually manifest in the lives of God's people. And now, as I look at your little tag, the financial Moses, I understand it now. God is truly using you to lead a generation of people out of bondage and into a place of freedom. I want to thank you for, go ahead.
I know you're winding it up, but watch this. One of the things you just said is lead a generation out of financial bondage. But when we start looking at passive income, Dad, it gets deeper than that, because that business is going to still be here when you go.
Yes, sir.
That house that's getting passive income is going to be still here.
Yes, sir.
When you're gone. That stock that you own is going to still be here when you're gone. That digital marketing that you set up and is still doing, it can still be making money when you're gone. Everything that we're doing transcends not just your generation, but it leaves an inheritance to your children. And they do right, your children's children. And so that's also one of the things I just want to add. I'm sorry to cut you off, but go ahead.
No, I appreciate it. I think people need to hear it. This is the answer to a lot of people's prayer. And as I utilize this on my various platforms, I want people to know that they can go right into the description, and there's a link that'll bring them directly. I'd love for them to go and check out Be Free University. Everybody there is transparent and will answer all of your questions, and just kind of check it out and see if it's for you. I believe it's for you. You don't see me sitting here promoting stuff like this here, but this is a kingdom answer to a very serious problem in the body of Christ. We have the heart, we just don't have the wallets. And we have the education, we have the degrees on the wall, but we just don't have the knowledge. Now, also want you to know, Lisa's telling me to make you all understand that we're enrolled. You know, I'm a student. I'm seriously going to sit down and let somebody teach me how to trade. I'm going to learn this real estate piece. You know, I'm not going to be broke another day in my life. And it's beautiful to understand. Watch this, George. It's beautiful to understand that that statement is not based on miracles. That statement is based on principles. I can boldly say I'll never be broke another day in my life. And I understand that I am in complete control of that. And that's basically what I'm trying to get the people of God to understand, that we don't have to live on a wish and a prayer or miracles, but there are principles and strategies that God has put in the earth that can put all of us in a place where you can boldly say, I'll never be broke another day in my life.
That is so deep, Dad. It's not a miracle, but a principle.
It's principles. This is what you're talking about. Principles. You're trying to teach the people of God the principles of wealth.
I'm telling you now, you're going to hear that again. You're going to hear that again. Because that's the truth. We've been looking for miracles in the body of Christ, financial miracles, money in the mailbox. God going to magically pay off your debt. Reach up and grab it. Turn around 3 times in a circle. Touch your neighbor. Shout your way through it. And we're looking for God to do it. And God is saying, I've already given you the principles, but you're looking for a miracle. Oh my God, that's good, Dad.
You're looking for a miracle, but you don't build wealth on miracles, George. You do not build wealth on miracles. Wealth is built on principles that are passed down. Let me say this and then we're done for real. There's no greater tragedy than one generation attaining wealth that it cannot teach the next generation. Wealth that is attained comes through a systematic or system of principles that can be taught to the next generation. That's what Be Free University is about. That's why wealth is not built on the back of miracles. Wealth is built on top of strategies, divine and practical strategies that God will give one generation that can be taught to the next. What you've done with Be Free University basically is bring everybody to the table to hear the discussions that certain aspects of society have had for generations. And so I applaud you. I thank God for you. You're an answer to prayer. And I believe that there are thousands of people that are getting ready to embrace Be Free University. And you're going to see the numbers towards your vision, setting 1 million families free. Did I say it right?
That's it. Not reaching them, but setting them free.
Setting them free. You are going to see. And as I texted you the other day, as I sent you that text and said you're making history, at a point in time, either while you're here or when you're gone, somebody will say, George Howard changed the trajectory of my family. George Howard. God has used you. I know it's been a lot of work, but it's worth it because God is using you to shift generations. And I thank God for you, George. I really do.
I thank God for you, Dad. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to help people get their generational wealth. I'm ready for it. Let's go do this.
Well, we're going together. And I thank God.
As you get freer, right? As you get freer.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting freer. I'm free and getting freer. Freer. I'm getting freer and freer and freer. And watch this, and I'm done for real. I thank God that I do not have to pastor a broke church. Ooh. Those that want to go can go, but you got to want it. I can't make you want it. You got to want it. We can leave when my 10 years up, we can leave a house filled with millionaires and people that are free. The next generation of leadership will be able to do whatever God is leading them to do without concern for money.
That's the kingdom, though, Dad.
That's the kingdom.
That's what the kingdom is supposed to look like. It gave us an example in Exodus When Moses said, we're going to raise an offering for the tabernacle. And the Bible says
That's
the
right.
people gave and Moses had to stop the people from giving. Dad, when God gives you the vision, I promise you, the church is supposed to say, okay, how much you need?
That's
Write the
it.
check. And
Let's
that's
make
it.
it happen.
And it doesn't affect your fine. You can get that. Like we make a big deal of $1,000 seed or a $10,000 seed. God is saying, hey, listen, whatever you already need is in the house.
That's
If
right.
you just watch this, if you just stop waiting on miracles and actually participate in the principles.
Participate in the principles. Thank you, George. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And let's go and set some people free. God
Love you
bless
too,
you.
Dad. Thank you.
Love you more. Love you more.